Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. A very happy new year to you. Welcome to 2024. I'm sitting today with Willie Pelser. Welcome, Willie.
Yeah, Robin, 2024.
2024, yes. So, Willie, December ended with the markets looking like it was a bull run that was never going to end. Obviously, clients would have received their statements and been quite happy with what the market did. But January hasn't started quite as optimistically. And in fact, the markets have come off a little bit. So was there too much exuberance in December? And what has happened in January to change the view?
Yeah, Robin, thank you. I wouldn't say too much exuberance, but potentially yes. And the reason for the global sort of market taking off was, as we said, end of last year, the reserve banks all over the world will go into a cutting cycle. That the hiking cycle has come to an end. Inflation is over the crest. It's actually been slowing down to some extent, and so the market started to price in, to some extent, on my calculations, almost like a 6 rate cuts coming in the US, rather than sort of the 3-4 that people were talking about, and that just sent positive waves through the investment universe, and stock markets took off, and some shares hit new all-time highs, and those type of things. So, and I think as we went into January and after the Fed's last minutes came out, there was a bit of toning back in the sense, whoa, we're ahead of the cycle here from an expectation perspective, that the Federal Reserve will not cut as much as the market has priced in, and it's all a sentimental type of thing. And last night was actually just a confirmation of that, where the US CPI came out, and very optimistic views going into the CPI number. We were expecting sort of a 3% up, 3.2% up, inflation, and came out at 3.4%. Now, again, if you 3.2, 3.4, what's really in the number type of thing. But if that's the expectation and you're over, it's not good for markets.
It's more the trend that the market looks at.
It's the trend, So inflation is coming down. Yes, we might have these short-term hiccups type of thing. So I think for the rest of the year, what the markets are going to focus on more and more and more is, again, risk. And the risk of expectations not being met type of thing. So let's use the example of, we've all been seeing that we can't push ships through the Suez Canal because of pirates, So we're back to the dark ages.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yes. And things like that does escalate into expectations again, because if you take the shipping industry, and Maersk and all of these people have come out and talked about it, you can't go through, so now you have to go, around Africa type of thing. Now, I'm not a sailor or a fisherman, but they talk nautical miles, so I think that if you go through the Suez Canal to the east, it's 7,400 nautical miles. If you come around Africa, it's 11,700 or something like that. And that sort of distance difference, Maersk has said, that adds 15% cost.
Wow.
Now, if you put that cost back into CPI and that type of thing, you might have these short-term fluctuations in the pace of inflation slowing down, because then you have a short-term hiccup. So I think the focus for the markets this year, including South Africa, is, yes, the trend is coming down, from our interest rates are coming down, inflation is coming down, but there will be this short-term hiccups. Another factor to take into account, it's election year. Not just in South Africa, America. I think I read yesterday that there are 42 countries in an election year this year, all over the world. What does that bring? Uncertainty. Because there's political fighting, that type of thing. And also there's a slowdown in policy implementation, because who's going to win? What will policy change? So it might be not a bad year, but a year where we have to focus on all of these unexpected changes that might come through.
So, Billy, one of the things that's just kind of a mindset changes is that we live in a society where everything's instant. we were watching a movie over the holidays where they were talking about, two children were talking about, they found an old camera and they took it into a store to get a film developed. And the guy said, do you want the quick or the slow? And they said, well, how quick is the quick? And they said, you can get it in an hour. And they looked at each other and laughed. Yes. And but society's got to this point where it's instant, but investing hasn't changed. It's still a long-term play out of the strategy that you're working towards, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, Robin, and it's, back to our philosophy. If you look at how the market has performed last year, it was a good year all over the world. No one expected that, and the main reason for that is we never had the recession in the US.
Yes.
But if you look at individual share, or rather, if you look at sectors in general, it wasn't a case that resources sector did well, or the financial sector did well, or the consumer sector did well. But you do find companies within those sectors who shot the lights out, who reached all-time highs, for argument's sake. Example in South Africa is consumer stocks sort of did well, then you have a SPAR that didn't do well. You have Anglo that came out end of last year with some adjustments in their forecast. Share price took a 24% knock, that type of thing. But some of the other resources did well, So it's not an instant game, because in that instant game, it's you can get hurt. Yeah. It's like coffee. Yeah. Your instant coffee, you can pour the teaspoon in your hot water, you got it.
Yes.
If you want quality coffee, it's a percolated system, or it comes through the machine.
Yes.
It's 5 minutes longer. So yes.
We could get into hours with coffee. Willie, thanks so much for giving us an insight into what 2024 will be. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.